Welcome back to Stauffer Garage, guys. Today's detail is of an F350 Super Duty Lariat Edition that is used as a service truck to work on tractors, so it is super dusty on the inside. But the good news is with this one, we're going to be busting out the extractor, we're going to have the steam cleaner, we're going to have every tool you can possibly imagine, including the pressure washer, to get this car completely clean on the inside. It's going to turn out incredible by the end of this video, and I know you guys are going to enjoy all the different steps that I use to make these cars look clean again. So if you are new, hit that subscribe button below, join the Stauffer Garage crew, so that way next time you guys see a video, it shows up in your notification box. That way you don't miss them. It's awesome. And if you guys are on Instagram, follow me on Stauffer Garage. I post content that you don't see in my videos. But let's go ahead and roll right into this detail. We have our work cut out for us. Holy I didn't know what that was that just moved behind me. It scared the crap out of me. Wow, 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 wow.
Now the first thing with any detail is to remove the floor mats, remove anything inside the cup holders, the door panels, the side sills, anything in the car that is larger than what your vacuum is able to suck up. Now because this car is as dirty as it is, we will be removing the front seats, which if you decide that you want to remove the seats for your vehicle and your detail, typically most seats are only held in with 4 bolts. There's typically a wiring connector underneath the seat that's easily disconnected for you to remove those seats for easy cleaning. And as you can see here, if I did not remove these seats, all of this dirt and dust that I'm seeing in these carpet fibers would not have been possible to get to if the seats stayed in the vehicle. And since I'm going to be extracting the carpets, I highly recommend you wear protection on your harness connectors and putting a glove over them, some sort of baggie, anything to kind of protect any moisture from getting inside those connectors. Always protect them. Now that we have a ton more room inside the vehicle, I'm going to go ahead and vacuum up any of the dirt, any of the loose particles on the surface of the carpet. I'm also using my bristle brush to get any of the caked on dirt on the pedals, on the door sills, on the carpet itself. By lightly scrubbing them, it loosens them up from the surface and allows the vacuum cleaner to suck them up very easily. Now I didn't remove the rear seats because the bolts and the intricacy of the whole mechanism for these seats was a little bit too intense for me to remove. It also did not have a ton of dirt underneath them because of how the seats are shaped. It doesn't allow a lot of dirt into the back of them. Ideally you would remove them, but in this case it wasn't necessary. Make sure when you're doing your vacuuming, you get underneath your seats. Like in these cases, these seats have cargo bays underneath them. So by lifting them up, vacuuming those areas, in between them, in the seatbelt buckles. And then when you're also vacuuming your seats, make sure you're pulling apart the seams a little bit to get any of that dirt in there. Now to clean the door sills and the door frame here, I'm using an all-purpose cleaner, and I'm using my bristle brush on the frame, and then I'm using my drill brush on the actual door sill plastic panel because it has a lot of different textured surface areas that make it hard to get to, and it makes it a lot quicker to use the drill brush and a microfiber towel just to wipe it clean. Same applies for the door panel frame. I'm using my bristle brush and all-purpose cleaner, and then the all-purpose cleaner across the entire door panel, and the bristle brush for the switches and all the different intricate spots that are hard to get to that you wouldn't be able to with a microfiber towel. Because the seats are removed, working on the pedals, working on these side panels of the center console, it makes it a lot easier not having the seats in the car and getting a lot of those stains from spilled drinks and other things that kind of get in between the seat and the center console area that you wouldn't typically be able to get to if they were left in the vehicle. Also, any of the products that I use in my videos, I always try to link them in the description box below for you guys, so that way if you want to pick up those products, you can as well. When it comes to cleaning the dashboard, the bristle brushes that I use are always highly recommended, especially trying to get into the air vent creases, getting into the steering wheel intricacies, all of the different pieces of the dashboard especially, or the side panels. A bristle brush really comes in handy. Now, one trick, if you're trying to get in between the airbag or between the steering wheel and the actual plastic cover, one thing that you can do is spray your microfiber towel with an all-purpose cleaner and then kind of like flossing the towel in between there. It definitely makes it so that way you can get into those spots. Even when you turn the steering wheel, you'll still miss some, but by doing this with the towel, you can make sure that you got all of those areas. The front windshield's definitely getting a lot of overspray in this shot, but that's why I always wait to do the glass last, because there's always going to be a chance that you're going to spray your top coat, your cleaner, or anything's going to get on there, and that's why I always wait to do the glass last. Now for this headliner, the headliner had not any staining, but it had more dust handprints. You can see here there's a one handprint, but more just of a dusting. What I'll just be using is my all-purpose cleaner on a microfiber towel just to wipe it down to get that clean. Now for the rear seats, I decided to try the 303 all-purpose cleaner, which is good for fabrics and all different types of materials. I wanted to see how well it foamed and how well it cleaned the leather before I conditioned them, and I was actually really impressed with how good of a job it did. Since it is a multi-surface cleaner, you could actually use it for plastic and all different types of panels, and that's actually what I used on the headliner as well. And it does a really good job at being an all-around general purpose cleaner that doesn't cause any staining. Now that we got the general cleaning done on the inside of the car, it is now time to focus on the floor mats, which vacuuming is always the first step, and I'm using my bristle brush to kind of get any of the caked on dirt, especially in these extra floor mats that the owner used. Trying to get all that dirt out and vacuumed up is definitely priority number one. Now for the solvent that I'll be spraying on all the floor mats for cleaning and the extraction process, it's actually a fabric carpet cleaner that's diluted slightly to a 10-to-1 ratio, and I'm going to be spraying it across the entire floor mat and then use my bristle brush to agitate the carpet fibers and the actual rubber floor mats here. And inside my extractor, I'm just using water. Now because the owner had both of these floor mats inside the vehicle, I went ahead and cleaned both sets, but I actually only put the carpeted floor mats back into the vehicle with the extra rubber ones into the back of the bed. So that way when the owner gets the car back, he gets to appreciate the cloth floor mats first and how the car would come from the factory, and then when he wants to put the other ones back in for his work, he can put the other ones back in tomorrow. Now that the floor mats are done, I'm going to move into extracting and drill brushing the entire inside carpet, and here I'm going to be doing the front driver floor well. And like I said earlier, the water being poured out of the extractor isn't super dirty compared to other details, but it is dirty and definitely cleaned up the vehicle. Now that all the actual cleaning is done, it is now time to take our top coat, which in this case is the Chemical Guys Silk Shine that I always go to, that you guys know I love. And I'm using that to coat all of the interior panels and the steering wheel and the dashboard of the vehicle. Now for the front driver and passenger seats, I'm going to be using the Lexol cleaner with my bristle brush to get into all those different pores of the fibers and those different stitching to get that seat cleaned first, and using my microfiber towel to wipe them off. Once the seats have been cleaned, I'm using the Lexol conditioner and a applicator pad to completely coat the entire seat first with the conditioner and then wiping it clean. Before I even started the detail, looking at the type of leather and the color of it, I knew that after doing the conditioner and the cleaner combo, the seats were going to turn out really, really well, and they certainly did not disappoint. And before I put the seats back in, I always try to do a final maintenance vacuum, which you can see here there's some dirt particles that have been carried into the vehicle from when I was doing the dashboard and everything else. So do one final maintenance vacuum before you put the seats back in. Now I like to, when I bolt the seats back in, take a little bit of Loctite and put it on the bolts before I put them back into each of the holes. That way I can ensure that they're not going to back out, and then they're also back to factory spec. Now that the seats are into the vehicle, go ahead and put all the floor mats back into the car, and then for the final step and stage of the clean that I like to do last is always clean the windows. When I clean the windows, I'm using invisible glass, and I always have 2 microfiber towels. The first microfiber towel is used for actual cleaning and removing any of the contaminants or dirt that's on the surface, and then the second microfiber towel is used for actually buffing and cleaning and getting any of the leftover chemicals off of the glass. Always remember to crank the window down slightly to get that top edge, and then I always try, when I'm doing an interior detail, do the exterior of the windows as well, because when you return it to a customer, if the outside is dirty but the inside's clean, they really cannot tell if it's been done or not, so I always try to do the inside and the outside as well. And here are the before and after shots of the entire detail, and I'm telling you guys, the car turned out beautiful. I was super impressed with the leather on the door panels, on the glove box, and the front seats. Just everything was transformed, and the car was honestly impressive. I was actually thinking that on the way home when I was driving home, I definitely could own one of these. It's actually a beautiful truck, and it turned out amazing. And if you guys enjoyed today's detail, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what was your favorite part of the detail. And thanks again, guys, for watching today, and I'll see you guys in the next detail. Bye, guys.